Hello and welcome back to our house. In this video, it's going to be kind of very informal, chit-chatty video, just sharing with you some ideas on how to get your kids excited about writing and how to get them to improve organically. It's not about buying any other curriculum or subscription or any kind of tools like that. We're just going to talk about just things that you could do at home, things that you can start right away. And before I forget, if you've purchased any course from me at all in the past or you're thinking about purchasing something, please stay until the end of this video because I have some very important announcements. Okay, so let's talk about the subject here of writing. Now, I read a ton of books on writing because I'm interested in it. I love reading and writing, but also just in my professional job, I'm a writer, so I always want to kind of stay on top of the latest. I just ordered a new book for myself from the Grammar Girl. She did a 365-day devotional, and I read older books. Like I've recommended this in the past, The Elements of Style. This is such a classic. So I like the old and the new, but I see the theme overall here on how to improve is to just write every day. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to be the best writer in 6 months, but you will have greatly improved. Just make a practice of writing every single day. And same goes for kids, which is why I love the way we homeschool with the Robinson curriculum, because the main part of that language arts is every day, just writing every day. Front and back, you could do double space, but just have them write about whatever they want to write about and you give them some feedback. And I promise you, just that simple practice every day, they will greatly improve in their writing. Yes, there's other resources. I have some grammar books here, but honestly, all of that, I think out of all of them, maybe the Professor K grammar that comes with RC, I saw, some improvement, but honestly, just writing every day is what makes up that huge improvement in their writing day in and day out. So I want to give you some tips here along the lines of that. Number one is, I don't even have a number here, but okay, gift of words. So we're coming up on gift giving season, and maybe instead of buying grandma or grandpa another pair of socks or candles, why not do something like, especially if they live in another state, instead of the kids buying them a gift, what about committing to a year of writing them every single month? I'm sure that they would love that, right? Just a year of letters. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but a lot of these tips come from one of my favorite books. It's called Families Writing. I've talked about it before. This is an oldie but goodie by Peter L. Stillman, one of my favorite writers who has passed away. And this book, it could be a little bit dated as far as the technology goes, like it's talking about word processors, but the ideas are timeless. And so that was one of them, is to give the gift of words. One way that you can do this as parents for your children, I know I've said this sometimes before, is doing these little "when I was your age" cards. The author, Peter Stillman, talked about doing this for his kids when, birthdays or Christmas, a year didn't go by that he didn't give them these. And when his kids grew up, he would go to their house and see that they were framed and on the walls like this. This was just so precious to them, and I could see why. So it's just about doing like "when I was your age" and then sharing an experience. In the book, it was even like him saying, "When I was your age, I snuck in my first cigarette," or whatever. But it was also things like, "When I was your age, I felt very lonely." Obviously just trying to connect with their kids with whatever they were going through. Here's a couple that I did. One I did, my husband did a few years ago for one of my sons, and he liked them, framed them. He did have them up on his wall in our old house. We moved, trying to minimize the clutter, so he keeps them in a keepsake box in his closet. But I just wrote, "When I was 10 years old, I liked reading Goosebumps, Babysitter's Clubs, James and the Giant Peach, Highlights Magazine, and Judy Blue. We lived across the street from the library," with the little doodle. My husband wrote, "Joshua, at the age of 10, I loved playing with my toys. I just enjoyed being a kid. Voltron, Batman, Superman, Star Wars, G.I. Joes. I had a big imagination, enjoy being a kid, Dad." And I could see how these little note cards really do make an impression, because my son is now, I believe 13. Did you just turn 13? Sorry, when you have 6 and the birthdays come. Yes, turned 13. Because now I know I have 3 teenagers. He still plays with his toys. For his birthday, he wanted like a Ninja Turtle set. He still very much is enjoying being a kid and loves all of these same things too. And a lot of my kids, they love all of these same books that I talked about here as well. So don't underestimate the gift of words. Number two, I would say journals, right? Let's talk about family journals. So we do this every Monday. This is our writing practice for writing, is that they just have to write in the family journal. Sometimes I contribute to them, but now I just kind of want to be surprised. Like, I don't want to read them and just save them for when maybe they're all out of the house, just to look back on this. I can already see myself crying, but it's very special just to share what's going on, what went on during the week or the weekend, or if there was a birthday, just documenting it there. We also have a read aloud journal. So every time I finish reading aloud a book, they all record their thoughts here. And I love seeing all the different opinions. And when I talk about like a book report, I just mean like a review. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Why? Why not? Would you recommend it to a friend? Again, why or why not? That's all I'm really looking for. And if anything else spawns off, it will. So along the line of that, I was inspired to create my own for homeschooling. This is the homeschooling book journal. I have these on Amazon. I'll link them down below if you're interested. You could just use a regular notebook though. But I wanted a space of 100 books so they can, fill out the table of contents. For the younger kids, it looks like this. It's a little bit, of writing, and then a space for them to doodle. And then for the older kids, same thing. It holds 100 books and they can have the whole page of writing, right? So that's that. Other kind of journals though are mommy and me journals. I'm a big fan of those. This is for my second oldest and my oldest. And so you can go back and forth, and great conversation starters, but it's just like a private little journal between you two, but it's guided. So you don't have to just, I don't know what to write about, right? It has the prompts, it has the questions. Along the lines too, they can just do like writing prompt ones, holiday ones. This is one we're doing this year for Christmas. There's a place for them to write all about their tradition, the traditions that we have, and holiday memories, and just kind of nice writing that you can do even if you want to take the holidays off a bit, not be so strict with school. You could do something like that. And then the book also talked about having like a personal journal read aloud time. Now, don't make this mandatory, don't force it, but maybe have a time during the week where you open it up if they want to share from their journal. This is so funny because I recently got together with my cousin who I hadn't seen in 15 years, and I used to live with them for a period of time. And I asked her, I was like, do you remember much about that time? I don't really, I must have been like 16, 17, I don't remember a lot from when I lived with them. And I asked her, do you remember stuff? And she's like, I remember the music you listened to, and I remember you would read aloud your diary to me. And I was like, I did that. We were all my cousins and I were laughing about it. I don't remember that, but I think there is something about we want to read aloud or to share the stuff that we write about. So in that book, it talked about having a journal read aloud time. Again, don't force it, but if someone wants to share what they wrote, maybe a poem or a story, and little kids, maybe who aren't, fluent in writing yet, they don't know that. So let them decipher their scribbles. If they just scribbled something down or pictures, let them read aloud their journal and, like I said, decipher what they wrote about, right? So that would be really fun. You could also do cookbooks, like family cookbooks. Maybe you have cousins all over the country, like everybody submit their favorite recipes, and so you curate and put together like, the Rodriguez family cookbook or whatever it may be, or just your own family cookbook. The kids can all contribute their favorite recipes. Another idea too, something that we did this week, is a family newspaper. So I love the idea of this. I subscribe to so many newsletters. I probably get 10 to 15 in my inbox daily. There's some that are my favorite, and I follow those writers. I really enjoy them. And so I thought that would be fun, like if we could curate our own. So I assigned based on interest. Somebody could do like the joke of the day or the comic or the family news update. Someone's going to write about all the updates of what's happening at church for the rest of the year, different stuff like that. And they're getting I wanted them to get that editorial feel process of writing something, giving it to me. Yes, they do this for homeschooling already, but more like as an editor, giving corrections, and then compiling it and putting it all together, right? So we're still working on it. I just think that would be a really fun project. And this is last thing I want to share here is how to get the ball rolling if they're just really stuck. First of all, I would recommend Dr. Lybrand's course. I know I said I wasn't going to do like courses or subscriptions, but it is different. He was an RC dad, so he understands the game that we're playing and the goals and vision that we have homeschooling this way. Also a writer, produced several writers of his own with his kids, and the course is really about just removing the fear of writing, and having that process. I don't want to give too much away, so I will leave that down below. It was sort of a game changer for our family. I think it really did make an impact on me and sort of the path that I ended up going on as well. But yeah, he also talks about how to break through that fear and that I don't know what to write about. And this book as well, Families Writing, had a great idea. And I want to challenge you to do this exercise yourself, is to get down a piece of paper and just label, draw a map of the first house you remember living in. So you can have your kids do this as well. It's kind of fun. And then label, each room. And then without censoring or editing, self-editing, just write a few words for each room. So I'm thinking about it like in the closet, maybe I'd write down like, I would sneak in here and pretend it was a portal to a fairyland, or this is the dining area where we had our Nintendo 64 and we would play, just different things like that. You'll be surprised how it just starts to get you writing, right? So you could do things like that, right? Try it out. Draw the first house you've ever lived in, label the rooms, and just write a few sentences about each room. So I would recommend this book. Like I said, I know it could be a little bit dated and it's out of print now. So if you ever see it, Families Writing, it's one of my favorite books. It says here, a lifetime of family writing activities, more than 60 ideas to help your family record special moments, share stories, preserve family memorabilia, work through crisis, and develop lasting family ties. Because I forgot about that. He does have a section on like divorced parents, how you can use writing to stay connected with your children, even if you have different visitation schedule, only see them every so often. I thought that was a good part of the book as well. So I will leave some helpful links down below. I hope this gives you some ideas, especially maybe for the holiday season where you want to slow down a little bit maybe when it comes to school, but you want to still keep them writing. And just be encouraged that the best thing they can do is just write every single day. They will improve. And the more that they read, that's also a very important part. The more that they read and are exposed to great language and they see it, that's stuff that they can recall then when they go to pen something themselves. All right. So now to the announcements. I am going to retire my courses at the end of this month. I'm trying to simplify my life and the wild cards, and having like a digital e-commerce, like online business, when it's just me on top of everything else going on, it can get complicated just providing the customer service and any issues. But also lately I've been having issues with Kajabi, and I'm not sure where the issue is, if it's like user end or something Kajabi's doing on billing or anything, but I'm just getting a lot of like people claiming fraudulent charges against my stuff, even though they access it and watch it. And I talked about this in my newsletter. So it is what it is. I think it's just my cue to retire the courses, just eliminate that part of this, and just come on here on YouTube and do videos like this from time to time when I have the time, and just again simplify it and eliminate that whole like online business of it. I think we had a good run. I'm considering maybe keeping one or two or some of the digital files, but I'm definitely not going to use Kajabi anymore. I'm going to move it to a different platform. So if you've purchased a course or a digital product from me, please keep an eye on your email, and I'll send a couple at least, right? And you can always email me if you have any questions, but I'm going to send you the digital file. So if you purchased a course, I'm going to send you a zip drive with all the videos, all the PDFs, everything, so you can just have it yourself, lifetime access on your computer. I don't know about hosting it someplace else, because again, I'm just trying to eliminate the whole like hosting issues and checkout process and carts. So I'll probably just send you the files. But the first part of that will be to first stop the sale of the courses. And so that's going to be at the end of this month. So if you still purchase something by the end of this month, you will also get that digital file, the email with the file, so you can have lifetime access. But they will not be available anymore moving forward November 30th or 31st, however many days are in November. Sorry, but if you have any questions, please email me, sustainablehomeschooling1@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to answer your emails. You're still going to have access to them. I'm going to send you the files. I'll let you know if I move it at all to a different place. I'm definitely just getting away from Kajabi, just too many issues there. And just, I think this is a good time to just simplify for next year. All right, thank you all so much. I really appreciate you all for watching. If you like this video, I think you'd like this one, but YouTube's algorithm thinks you would like this instead. So whichever one you choose, I will see you there. Bye for now.